I'm going to tie a modern sort of tube fly version of a classic fly called the Ackroyd, which is a D-fly. I'm going to tie it on this, which is it's about a 30mm stainless steel tube. And it's not lined. I'm going to line this after the fly because what I want is to use the wire of the tube fly holder to hold this down outside of the ring. If I put it in there, it'll hold it much sturdier, but then I'll have a bigger portion which I'd need to cover up some way with junction tubing. So if I tighten that down onto that, hopefully that shouldn't slip. Now, I'll take my thread and I'm going to put on a butt of Mirage. The traditional ones would have had, I suppose, something like silver tinsel. So I'm going to take that down there a little bit and lay on a bed of black tan silk for that to sit on. I always like Mirage over black. It seems to make it a nice sort of peacocky colour. And just to stop it slipping, I'm just putting on a bit of varnish. And wrap onto that. I'm wrapping up further than I need because I'm going to wrap back over it. For tail, I'm going to use a fluorescent yellow sort of fluoro fibre. A little bunch of it here, and I'm just misaligning the tips of it to give it a little bit of taper, hopefully. Say the original fly would have had a topping as a tail, so I'm going to tie that in on top and tie it back. So, for our rib on this fly, I'm going to use silver holographic flat braid. So the old style fly would have had a metal silver tinsel. Now, the body on this is traditionally would have been sort of like a yellow seal. And you can use yellow seal, but here I'm going to show you a tip. If you take a bit of Arctic fox, like just the long guard hairs, and then you can move that, and that will actually make you a nice dubbing, which is probably easier dubbed on than seal. Once you get a little bit caught, you can actually, because it's long fibred, you can stretch it out, create yourself a dubbing rope. We'll start back here. Take that forward. Make that sort of between 1/3 and 1/2 of the length of the body. And now we take our silver flat braid and we get maybe 3 turns or so up that, fold it back and tie it in. So in the middle I'm going to use quite a long fibred yellow hackle. This is a Chinese cock hackle, although you could use a soft hackle or something along the lines of that. Now these flies would have had ostrich butts, so in a way I'm sort of using the hackle as the butt section rather than palmering it up the body. We're just going to wrap that on in the middle. The front section on these tended to be either black seal or black floss, so I'm going to use on this one, as we did on the rear section, I'm going to use Arctic Fox, and again it's ribbed with the same rib. So I'll just reattach my silver braid and then take a bunch of black Arctic Fox. Do the same again, pull out the longest yard hairs, and if you want, what you can do is cut the bunch in two, and then just mishmash that up, and that'll make you a fur dubbing. Stretch it out past itself. And then we will rib that with the flat braid. Now keep a good bit of tension on that there, because it makes it thinner and helps it dig into the dubbing better. I've just again folded that back on itself to tie it in. So the feature of these D-flays was big long black heron hackle. Here I'm going to use a dyed black Chinese hackle, Chinese heron hackle, because our own ones protected. I'm just going to fold all the fibres onto one side there. And now, normally on a feather I'd cut off the tip, but in heron hackles the tip is sort of wispy fibres, so I'm going to use them. I'm going to tie that in on top, and then fold that back, and then we'll wrap that. Now there's not too many fibres on one of these hackles, so it does take quite a few turns to get any sort of body to it. But as you see, we now have this big wispy halo sort of effect. And you notice I've left quite a bit of room at the front of the tube here to tie this, because we have another hackle to go on after that. So what I'm going to do here is to get a little bit of super glue in just at the base of that tie-in point, because the hackles also tend to be quite brittle. So I just want a little bit of that just to soak in, not really to interfere with the way it lays or anything, it's just to keep them in case it would break and unravel. So next we're going to use a guinea fowl hackle. This is actually a Kenya crested hackle. Now this is the good side towards me. Well, I'm going to show it towards you now. So when I double this, what I'm going to do is actually strip a bit to leave the last turn or so of the leading edge single-sided, because that'll help to contain it better. And then we double the front portion, nip out the tip, tie it in by the tip, fold it, and then we wrap that on. As I say, now the doubled portion is ended, and we have roughly a single turn of single-sided, which will help to make everything lay in neater. Now, Ackroyd's, these sort of flies, some of these tend to have their jungle cock drooping. So I'm going to take 2 jungle cock feathers and measure them for length. I'm going to tie them on more sort of on the side, I think. A little bit down. And fold them back. And then we'll nip off the loose ends of those. Oh, now we're ready for a wing. I'm going to use a cinnamon turkey, and these would have had 2 slips set in, but I'm going to try a different technique here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to separate out a bit as wide as I want the wings, quite narrow, into like a V here. So I've cut the tip out, and you can use that on another fly. And I said once I cut this off, it'll leave that I could make another one out of the next section, and so on and so forth. What I'm left with here is a V, and that will help keep these splayed. What I'm going to do is set that up on top here, and I'm actually going to have a little bit of the stalk pointing backwards behind my head, and that'll help with the separation. And then I tie that in, and that's just an easy way of tying in a D-style wing. I wouldn't do it for a exhibition, sort of a classic, but for a fishing fly it works quite well. I just need to super glue that and make a head.